my weekend.
This is extremely exciting, guys. There's been so much going on in the studio since we got here. Equipment has been falling apart. Wires have been tearing in half. Lamps have been crashing. We almost injured our guest hosts. Anyways, welcome to the Middle of Greatness. My name, as always, is Joey Livingston. I am your assistant to the guest host. And this week, our guest host is the legendary D.K. Vinson. Now, I don't know if you are a fan of comedy, but this is evidence of it. I mean, if you are a serious fan of comedy, you will know who he is. He is a hilarious local comedian in and around the areas. What I'm trying to say, guys, is that if he has hit a stage, he has crushed that stage. So I want you to put your hands together for Mr. D.K. Vinson. Yeah. I mean, you know, humility demands that we allow others to clap for us, right?
Nah, it doesn't.
Do what?
I'm my biggest fan.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I show up to all my shows.
You do?
Yeah.
But do you laugh at all your shows?
I do.
How many jokes do you think that you have only told once on stage and then you're out of there? Never again.
About half of the jokes I've told.
Really?
On stage.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't have expected that.
Yeah.
You have a high level of confidence in your jokes, but it's because you have a heavy filtering process.
Yes.
Got it. Yeah, I think I'm that way too.
And plus, some jokes are really just circumstantial, and just you got to be there.
Yeah.
I do a lot of crowd work, and I'll riff off. Depends on like how deep of a show we have. I'll rip off of things
Sure.
I heard other comics doing.
All right, now
Yeah.
I want to see how clever
Topical.
of a comedian you are. So I'm going to throw a riddle at you.
Not quite clever.
And we're going to
at all.
see. We're going to see if you can get to it. Okay.
Okay.
What is the beginning of eternity?
What is the beginning of eternity?
The end of time and space.
Okay.
The beginning of every end, and the end of every race.
Could you repeat that?
Talk. The beginning of eternity,
Mm-hmm.
the end of time and space. The beginning of every end.
It's the letter E.
Ah, you got it.
Yeah.
That's my favorite childhood riddle.
Yeah.
All right, now tell me yours. You had a crappy riddle that you were saving. Do you remember what it was? You blanked?
I had a riddle?
Yeah, and I said, don't tell it until the show gets started. And you were like, I promise I won't forget this riddle.
So I have to come up with a riddle right now.
No, you don't have to. You can just admit that you forgot the riddle that you were going to tell me. And we can just move on.
How about you admit that there was no agreed upon riddle before?
No, you started telling a riddle. I was like, wait, don't tell that riddle. But I do that all the time. I forget about what I'm going to talk about. Tell me, did you grow up in Pensacola, or were you born here?
Yeah.
Born and raised?
I wasn't born here, but I was.
No, where were you
raised here.
born?
Home is where your first DUI is. You know.
Yeah. Hear that?
I was born in Pineville, Louisiana.
Yeah.
It's basically a hospital, a gas station, couple holes to bury some bodies, and that's about it.
How long did you live there?
Not long. My mom was in the military, so she bounces around a lot.
Oh, cool. So that's how you got around, because you and I have talked quite a bit. I know you've been around. You've been up to New York City ways, and where else have you been?
New York City. You don't have
to list them all. Any other places interesting that you've been?
Like DC, Philly, West.
I'm kind of from all over the place too. I was
Cali.
born in West Texas, Midland, Texas, and then immediately moved to New Mexico. Was raised by my great grandmother until I was 4.
Okay.
And then my mom came and got me, and we went to Oklahoma City. And I lived there until I was 17, and then I was evacuated from my house for reasons that I won't get into right now, and ended up in East Texas. That's where I met these motherfuckers, and they're all right.
Some good motherfuckers to me.
Yeah, and then several of us went on a one-way caravan to Pensacola.
A caravan.
Yeah.
Please
Got the fuck out of East Texas.
elaborate on that. Did y'all have like?
We had a mobile home,
Okay.
and Actually, I think that's all it was. It was just a mobile home.
Whenever y'all took breaks, did y'all get hotels or did you just kind of circle?
No, it's just fucking straight on. You know, from East Texas to Pensacola, it's like 7-8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, I'm not gonna waste money on a hotel. Would you?
No,
Come on,
not for
drive,
not for
of
an
course
8-hour drive. No.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, but yeah, that's how I ended up here. So your mom was a military lady, worked hard for you. Yeah. Cool. Tell me a little bit about her.
Tell about my mom.
Yeah.
What do you want to know?
This is your opportunity, man. You know what? This may be as high as it gets for you. Like it may not get any better than being on this show. And you need to take this opportunity to tell us about your mom so that your story can be eternalized. 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Get it all out in 30 seconds.
Tell me your favorite thing about your mom.
My favorite thing about my mom, resourceful as hell. Like, makes the best with less. Like, and she sets her mind on things. I got a lot of favorite things about my mom.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, me too.
She gets it done. Like, she like built like this clubhouse, like honest to God, like clubhouse, like window fixtures, put a mailbox out for my niece.
Oh, really? Like carpentry and shit?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, and did it really quickly too, to where it was like one day it wasn't there, and then I go over there, you know, drop off like some groceries, and I look in the back and there's a hole.
How old were you?
This was like 2 months ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Was she did it for grandkids or?
Yeah, for my niece.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. Yeah. My mom, she dropped me off in Livingston, New Mexico, because she figured out that she was living in a deeply superstitious commune, and that they were abusive to her children. And so when I was born, she escaped. And you know, didn't have a dime to her name because she was married to a man who, you know, made her into a slave. And so she dropped me off at my great grandma's and went as far north as she could to Oklahoma City, and just somehow got into the oil business, buying and selling oil wells, and got settled. No college education. I mean, she got her college education to do that there, and then she came back and got me.
That's beautiful. Yeah,
I thought that was really cool. It's a story I'll always remember. But anyways, let's see. What else do we have to talk about? Do you ever get nervous when you go on stage these days?
Do I get nervous? Yes, I do.
Yeah, like nervous that you'll forget your lines, or?
Yeah, that's pretty much what stems from the nervousness is just not delivering the way that I have it in my head.
Right, like you have it perfect.
Well,
in your
that's
head.
pretty much all my anxiety, because I really don't give a shit if people.
Yeah, well, that makes me feel good to hear you say it, because I look up to you as a comedian, and that's probably my only worry. Like, you know,
as long as I deliver it the way I wrote it and intended it,
right,
and the rest is up to everyone else. Like, you can laugh or you don't.
I like that. The rest is up to everybody else. It's like, you know. I mean, there are jokes that after I get them out, I realize they're either underbaked or just shouldn't have been brought out yet in the first place, you know. Right. But if I know a joke is funny independent of whether an audience laughs at it.
Because sometimes I make some touchy jokes, and if I don't deliver it the right way, it'll fall flat on his face, and then I'm just disappointed in myself on that.
Yeah. Yeah, the joke you spread out throughout your set about saying the N-word. Speaking of, can I say the N-word?
Can you say the N-word? This is America. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I can say it right here. Like, it's just a trick.
Like I said, this is America. You do what you want, but that's on you.
Okay, well, you
want to deal with the consequences of that.
Okay, so that's what I want to talk about, the consequences. Like, if I say it right now, can you guarantee my safety when I go out this door?
Words,
like a few months down the road.
Words are just words to me.
No, I know that you are not going to beat me down. I'm just saying, can you assure my safety from others?
No, not at all. 100% not.
All right. Well, I'm not going to take the chance.
I do not.
I mean, I'm trying to weigh and measure the
my
risk reward.
my apathy to the word is not typical
Yeah.
Of other black people at all.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, can you want to expand on that? Because that was an interesting conversation that we had. Here's what I found fascinating about your approach to like hearing the N word from white people, etc. Was that it's like, it's just a word. Yeah. If you just want to get away with saying it, okay, but at the same time, like, why?
Yeah, like the word itself doesn't piss me off. I'm not 5 years old.
Right.
Like I got complete control over my emotions and faculty as a grown man. But where it does bother me is society has like set expectations on people about using that word not. So when you do it, it's like you're saying like fuck. You're basically saying you're disregarding other people's feelings about it, and that in itself is disrespectful to me.
Yeah,
it's like the word itself, but people will potentially be pissed off by it, and you do it anyway. So
yeah, it feels like if the black culture wants to be upset in this nation about the N word, then they need to be allowed to do that for as long as they want to do that. That's how I feel about it.
It's not just like. It's naive to think that the N-word only pisses off black people, because it pisses off white people just as much.
Yeah, sometimes I want to say it almost pisses them off more.
Yeah, it all depends on like what perspective you're coming from, and it's a generational thing. Because
you need to be blunt with me, man. I mean, when these cameras aren't on, you just slap me down anytime that I say something that is incorrect, and I felt a little soft. Like Pat, just a moment there. I mean, it sounds like I have that completely wrong.
I feel like I'm being blunt.
Yeah.
Not by mentioning any words.
Yeah. But do you feel like
you just
this is my thinking sound. That's how I think. Okay. All right. You never heard me do that on stage? Do you think that the PC culture is choking out the creative freedom that we have in comedy?
Nah, not at all. There's a give and take and balance to it, because without the PC culture, like going around finger wagging and everything,
like a yin and yang.
People would just go off the rails with what they would be saying.
Right.
But at the same time,
but you want to challenge the PC culture. You
have the creatives challenging that to where we not just homogenize.
It's, you know what? If you think about it, it's like the PC culture is the comedians at Back Porch Comedy, the comedians are the comedians, and the PC culture is Russ. Okay, now I know Russ is not PC. You know who I'm talking about, Russ? Russ is our friendly local heckler at Back Porch Comedy.
Russ.
Yeah, okay.
Russ.
So I know immediately you're going to say, how's that like Russ? But the weird thing about Russ is that...
There's only one weird thing about Russ?
Yeah. Well, the one I want to talk about right now. There's a lot of things that go beyond the scope of this show. But the weird thing about Russ is that he creates so much friction, but don't you think that his energy somehow like amps up the comedians and amps up the audience? Like I know like he can go too far, and at that point you just gotta end it. But I want him to shut up, but at the same time I like the sort of agitation he creates by not shutting up sometimes.
Yeah. All right, hecklers can bring out the best and the worst in comedians. But the same heckler, nah, it doesn't. Because I've done every joke I'm willing to do about Russ. And I'm just like, man,
yeah, it's like we've gone around in circles with this guy.
Just shut up, man.
Yeah.
He does put a little fire in some other comics, but then they just kind of they stop being playful with it, and they just start spitting vitriol because he's so annoying. And I think that's a counter.
Well, he was really mean last week, to be fair.
He was the same he always was. That's why I did my best just to ignore him, because just be beating that dead horse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I
kind of wish he would just shut.
I think he's unstable, clearly. I think he enjoys. He's like like, I know you can help me think of an example, like from Star Trek, like an enemy who like feeds off of your phasers. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I think there was some sort of like space manta ray or something in one of the Star Trek series. That's probably Russ. You got to stop firing at the guy. Got to take away his energy source, which is emotional abuse.
And tequila.
Yeah.
That's usually where that comes from. Like, I already got Russ figured out. He couldn't be himself until he was already middle-aged. And by then, all the emotional abuse was done. So he just gets
You
drunk.
think he's being himself? It feels like a facade to me.
It's not. I feel like he's been doing a facade all the way up until about...
Until now, this is him.
Ellen got her own show. Then it was like, all right, this isn't an issue anymore.
I'm probably going to get in trouble for... I mean, this show isn't that popular, so I doubt I'm going to get in big trouble. But I always feel like I embrace the LGBT community, but it's like you said about Russ. Like that's probably we're seeing him. We're seeing him. The thing that makes me feel like I'm not really getting to know Russ is his flamboyancy. Like I can get. I don't know. I guess I feel like it's me when I get up on stage and I'm being very dramatic. It's like the maybe the epitome of who I am, or like a I don't know. What am I trying to say? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't act like that when I'm not off stage, or do I?
You pretty much act the same.
Do I?
On and off stage.
You do too. Maybe I just don't see it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Sometimes I feel like I get toned down off stage, or the exact opposite can happen. Like I can have a lot of energy, and then I'll get up on stage and I'll start talking to everybody like this. And key it down.
You have that late night jazz musician speaking.
So do you, motherfucker.
Well, like that's just how I talk.
Oh, you think I'm just like this is like saying it's a facade for me? Dude, I got the low, smooth singing voice. Like you definitely use it more like smoothly in your bits. I like how you sort of how to smear one bit into another. Mine have clear cut points. Like, this is just his set. This is Joey's outline. I can see the bullet points as he goes along. I'll say stuff like, "Oh, okay. Here's the next joke, guys." You don't ever say that stuff. You ever say, "Here's the next joke, guys"?
Never said that before.
Anything remotely like that at the beginning of your career?
I try to keep down redundancy in my words.
So you never did? Like you never said, "Okay."
I'm not saying I've never done it, but like I make a conscious effort not to.
Yeah, like I will mentally beat myself down.
Waste words.
If I do shit like that. If I go, okay, here we go. Like that's a sign that I don't know what the fuck I'm doing right there. I've got to find my place. Or I've said something that I know is clearly unfunny. I'll go, huh. It's embarrassing to me, but nobody else sees it but me. Let me throw an idea at you, and tell me what you think. We were talking about this just earlier. I have a lot of comedians that I'm a big fan of, like Dave Attell and Robert Kelly and Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock, and just on and on and on. People that I would just love to sit and hang out with and talk with, And I've been, like you, I've been to New York City on multiple occasions, and I go to the Comedy Cellar where all these guys hang out. And one time I got to sit in a booth right where the comedians came in and out. So every comedian that got off stage, I get to fist bump him. Yeah, it was Dave Attell. I fist bumped him. Chris Rock fist bumped him.
That's what's up.
Yeah, and so as epic memories. But they don't want to talk with me.
I know.
I can like what? I'm supposed to take that personally?
No, don't take it personally. It's just...
So yeah, they don't want to talk to me. I mean, I'll go up and shake their hand outside, but I'm not their friend. I'm
nobody, and I barely want to talk to anybody.
Right.
Like it's like they were like, "Good set." I'm like, "Cool." And
when I started getting into the comedy scene, I understood that. Like I resist it because I don't want to be rude to people. I want to be kind and generous as an entertainer, because that's the only way that people are going to be your fans is if they sense a warmth from you. But I do sense that urge, like like who's talking to me and how are you talking to me? Like Kevin Saucier, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Featured comic last night, fantastic comedian.
Yeah,
The first time he talked to me was at Back Porch, and I didn't see a set. I was outside and I missed it. And then I walked up and I was talking to somebody else, and he made this cocky remark to me. Mm-hmm. And my first thing my brain thought was, who the fuck is this guy? Mm-hmm. You know, like nobody talks to me except another comic like that.
Yeah.
You know, and so I got really like bravado cocky back with him. You know. And I put my leg like way up on a chair and put my hand on my knee and was like talking down to him. Like I was trying to make him laugh, but it was a little over the top, you know. And then I saw him and then I remembered that I had seen him at the Blind Mule. Mm-hmm. I saw him last night. I was like, oh, it's that guy. Mm-hmm. You know, he deserved way more respect than what I gave him in that moment. You know? Yeah. But my point in saying all this is that my favorite. Like the comedians that I always looked up to before I got into comedy, they don't want to talk to me, and understandably they don't want to talk. Like they'll shake my hand outside. Hey, I shook Dave Attell's hand, and I was like, I'm a big fan of your comedy, and he looked at me and he said, oh, are you another comedian? And at the time I wasn't, so I said no, I'm not. And he was like, oh, well then thank you. You know? And
why do you think he liked your opinion more that you weren't a comedian? Because
I think there's a lot of like in that like around the cellar, just like comedy nerds just flock there to see all their favorite comedians, just like me, you know. But I think somewhere deep down inside I knew I was gonna try it at some point, but I could tell by the way he was asking that it would mean more to him if I said no, and that was the truth. So I said no. But what dawned on me, what has been slowly dawning on me, is that I enjoy the conversations that I have with you and the other comics up at Back Porch Comedy every bit as much as I enjoy sitting and listening to a podcast of my favorite comedian, if not more, because it's in 3D, I'm right there, and I get to interact, you know? And so the thought this morning, we had a discussion this morning, was that corporate America has managed through just the means of widespread communication to stretch the distance between your most famous comics and your least favorite comics. So the most famous comics make millions and millions, while not even least favorite comics, just community comics make nothing, you know? And it's because I think of this false view, like we're all watching these comedians thinking, oh, wouldn't it be great to hang out with those guys? And yes, it would, but that's their community. And that's it's really a model. They're saying, hey, why don't you do this? Why doesn't everybody get together and be funny and make each other laugh, you know? And so, I don't know, that gives me a great sense of satisfaction because although I love what they're doing in New York and I admire the comics there, I look at them much less like some sort of god now and much more like, oh, that's the community of comics up there. And here's our community. And we've got some really great comics here.
Well, I think corporate America, as you say, has less sway over the comedy industry than they ever have, you know, especially with social media and YouTube and stuff. Like it shrank like... the distance you have to go in order to experience new, like Kevin Hart shot from obscurity to the highest paid comedian in the world just from having his sets circulated on YouTube, and it would just get shared, and next thing you know, he's a name in Europe, Africa, every continent.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
that's basically
he was like you.
Up.
All of his friends say that he just knew. You know, he knew that he was great. I sense that from you.
And a lot of guys in general are coming up just because of the digital age, to where you would have to. The only way you would be able to get a mass appeal was either get on the radio or like Jimmy Fallon or something like that. And that's when corporations really have say over who gets to see who. And now any guy can blow up as long as he can get his name out there. It's
still a lot of challenging because there's so, and this was another thing that I said this morning, was that there's so much. yes, this is happening. It's we have models online that are they sort of abstractly represent what happens in a local community, you know, and you can put your stuff out there, and your friends and your family will watch it. That's great. But I think in order to, if not achieve fame, at least find satisfaction in your career, that it begins with the physical local community, and then it's represented online. And so, you know, along a few years back, I started trying to take the approach of sort of building attention for our studio, of just friending everybody, just making friends with everybody. What I realized was happening was that I was making friends with people online that I didn't know, I had nothing in common with. So why would they want to look at the shit on my wall, you know? So I unfriended like 75% of them.
The thing about being an entertainer is you have to have a certain level of narcissism.
No, but you don't understand. It wasn't a matter of it wasn't. I know what you're saying, and I do love my shit. But what I'm saying is that I wasn't considering what my target audience should be. Like, the friends that I make now are people that I know are interested in the kind of shit I'm doing. Yeah. Back then, it was like, you know, I was interested in art, illustration, music, you know, this kind of comedy, and the people that I was friending were like, they were like deep religious. Some of them were like deep religious folk that would be offended by my shows, you know, and I don't know what I was thinking. It was a lesson learned, you know. And that's why I feel like if you start with local community, you're making meaningful friendships with people online. Absolutely. At least some sort of connection. We shook hands. You saw me on stage or something like that.
Absolutely.
And then, you know, get people talking about you, you know, by doing some crazy shit on stage or something. Who knows?
Absolutely.
You know? Yeah. So it gives me a lot of encouragement because sometimes it seems impossible to achieve the kind of fame that our culture has made us feel like we have to achieve. But at the end of the day, I just want the respect and admiration of the people that I respect and admire most, you know? And then if I can make a living off of that, I want to make a living. There we go. That's actually what I want. Respect and admiration of the people that I respect and admire, but then also, you know, pay me some money so that I can stop worrying about how I'm going to pay my bills while I'm doing comedy.
100% agree.
Yeah. We got to get that going.
Absolutely.
Think we can?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. We got to do it. Let's see what time it is. You're getting boring.
Okay. I'm getting boring.
All right. We got 3 or so minutes left. Do you want to say any famous last words before we end the show? I'm going to serenade you before we end the show.
Famous last words. Yeah. I don't believe these are going to be my last words.
Oh, no. I meant last words of the show, and they might be famous. Yeah. I'm sorry you misunderstood. I'm not going to kill you. Yeah.
You don't have to kill me.
Yeah.
If I don't make it home, we're off Gulf Beach Highway.
Okay, that's enough. Yeah. That's quite enough. No, that's quite enough. All right. Let's see here. We are at 17:01. Oh, by the way, before I even do that, I almost forgot. Let's do some quick promotions. Number one, I want to thank the volunteer crew here at NCG Studios. We've got crew member 1, crew member 2, and crew member 3. I want to thank them all personally by name. Thank you, crew member 1, crew member 2, and crew member 3. These guys come up here and they work their ass off to produce a great show for us. They're the behind-the-scenes guys, and they're always here for us. And they produce other shows as well on NCG Studios. Normally, right after this show, we would have a show called The Place, where there's some deep intellectual engagement that some of you guys honestly might not be able to keep up with, but for some of you, very, very stimulating talk. So tune in next week at 7 o'clock for The Place with Dr. Michael W. Jones and his guests. I also want to just give a shout out to Back Porch Comedy because it's my second community. That's one of your main communities as well. I am proud to call myself a Back Porch original. You know, it'll always be when I am making millions, I will always say that I started at Back Porch Comedy. I might not send them a dime, but I'll always say that those are my roots. Won't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. great place to start, great memories, and we're going to keep building them. We do an open mic at Back Porch Comedy on Palafox and Cervantes in the back of the Days Inn in Pensacola, Florida. We do
Cervantes.
Say it.
It's Cervantes.
Cervantes.
That's how the locals say it.
I am a local. That's how I say it. I've lived here for...
You don't say Cervantes like
14 years.
Okay. Do you call it Broncos too?
No, I call it Brancos.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't say Cervantes. Sounds too northern. Cervantes.
That's how we...
Cervantes,
okay.
Man. Yeah, Cervantes. I like it much better. I don't care how DK says it.
Nobody cares how you say it.
Shut up.
I will not.
You know what? We almost went fisticuffs Tuesday night.
I really disagree with that.
No? We're far away from it? Okay. Maybe we'll talk about that next show.
It's not beef.
All right, let me finish the promotion. So Tuesday at 9 o'clock, we have a sign-up for an open mic, which starts at 9:30. And if you're brave enough to get up on that fiery stage, which will burn you down if you're not funny, then come up and sign up. Starts at 9:30. Very encouraging
Don't
crowd.
be intimidated.
No, absolutely not.
It will probably be your first time, and you probably still won't be the worst one to go up there.
That's right. We got a lot of stinkers, but a lot of amazing comics.
I wouldn't say a lot of stinkers. It's a good mix of half and half.
Well, if you counted the amount of times that they went up there, yeah, no. No, that actually there aren't that many stinkers. I take that back. I'm just being funny, and I realize that I better stop being funny. Okay, so Tuesday night open mic, and then Fridays there's usually an awesome show there's usually an awesome show on Friday nights with featured comics that and it may be no cover or maybe a $10 cover, but it's always worth it. Whatever it costs. And my son, I guess, is throwing me up a sign to give a shout out to Quantum MC on YouTube. And Vinson, what would you like to promote? Anything?
What would I like to promote?
Yeah. Your Facebook page or anything? Where can people find your content?
I am DK Vinson on Facebook. I am DK Gray on Twitter. I am DK Gray on Facebook fan page.
Look him up.
I think that's
well worth following. The man is funny and educational, and so you need to give him a follow. And now, without further ado, I'm going to sing you a song. Okay. You're going to love this one.
Am I?
You are going to love it. Okay. Am I getting now? Last week there was no vault. Once I had adjusted this, it was all screwed up. Are you guys hearing me? Okay. No. Push the back into the mic. All right. How about now? Did I push it in far enough? You do? Yeah. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let me make sure I'm comfortable. I need to warm up here. And don't cut to DK. Let me just remind you of the catastrophe that we had in the first episode with Tony Burkett, in which we cut to him and he was looking at me longingly. He'll never forget that. So don't do that to DK. All right, here we go.
You can do whatever you want back there. I'm here for the service of the show.
I heard there was a secret chord that David played, and it pleased the Lord. That you don't really care for music, do ya? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty in the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to her kitchen chair. She broke your throne and she cut your hair, and with every breath she drew, the hallelujah, the hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. It's the middle of greatness, guys, not the top of greatness, okay? Keep that in mind. One more verse and we'll be done. Shut up, DK.
You know.
You can sing along if you want. Do you know the last verse?
I do not.
All right, here we go. Well, maybe there's a God above, but all I've ever known of love was how to shoot somebody who outdrew you. And it's not a cry that you hear at night. It's not somebody who's seen the light. It's a cold and it's a broken. Ow! God damn it! Falls apart every fucking time at the end. Guys, didn't I talk to you about finger exercises? I need to get more of these, okay? Be sure I do the next time. I had fun on this show. Did you have fun?
I had fun.
Good.
I enjoy the way you play guitar like you wear flip-flops every day.
And I do wear flip-flops every day. I don't appreciate you making fun of the way that I look, but I appreciate the spirit that it's intended. All right, so this is DK Vinson. We had a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun next week with somebody who's not DK Vinson. Anyways, fade this fucking show out, okay? It's over. No, right now. Get it gone. Get it.